Great good morning, everyone. My Cordaro Jeweler's watch tells me it's 9:09 and change on a beautiful Friday, March 6th, year of our Lord 20 and 26. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, broadcasting today from the United States of America. I can prove it because we're going to make things right in this world. It's also the place for the brave. Like the veterans we salute today, thanks to our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga hospitality group, like Frank Chernauskas, Pittston, Frank Duzak, Old Forge and Duryea, and Timothy Kravitz, Dixon City. We lost them this year, but celebrate them today thanks to John. The United States of America, founded with the certain knowledge and understanding by our incredible, amazing, irreplaceable founding fathers that government is not, shall not be, cannot be, our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things, but is nothing more than a necessary evil we require to organize and protect society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be an unalienable right. That means they can't take it away. And it's granted to each individual by God, not by the government. And it can't be parceled out to groups, and it cannot be controlled by government or government officials, because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press, no matter how badly they abuse it. Is there a connection? Oh, yes, there is. Because armed with these freedoms, for the first time in human history, uniquely, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, rejects, and their progeny from all over the world created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show, well, it'll always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And yeah, we mean that both ways. And so, given our commitment to common sense, and it is unshakable, unbreakable, immovable, we will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you for the balance of this morning. And we'll gavel to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense. Today's meeting. Yep. Somebody texted in, and this had to be stunning. I remember when it happened. We talk about Iran, why now, all that. It's silliness. It's absolute silliness. It's childishness. Nothing more. It's childish politics, dislike for Trump, the imminent threat in the planet is Iran, threatening their neighbors, a critical region of the world, assisting Russia in attacking Ukraine, assisting China in its efforts to be the superpower and surpass the United States, and, of course, killing Americans. And one of our listeners texts in, I was in Army basic training, October 1983, and I remember the drill sergeants coming out and making the announcement, 241 of your fellow servicemen were just killed by a terrorist bomb in Beirut. Everyone grew real quiet, and we knew that this was for real. And I remember the hostages. I remember all of their cowardly attacks. I remember what these scum religious fanatics have done to the United States and our allies over and over and over again. And you layer on top of that, they weren't content with just abusing people in their region. They wanted atomic weapons. They wanted ballistic missile systems that would help them dominate and control the entire Middle East and beyond. Their intent in getting a nuclear weapon was to use it. And they've got to be wiped out. There's no question about this. There's no question that this was the right action. And the timing was impeccable. So we'll talk about that today, and anybody who wants to talk about it. Quickly, last night, Cutie and I and my parents, we went to the Scranton Shakespeare Festival. It's the Shake Place, it's called. It's a little event space that John Basiliga donated to this great Scranton Shakespeare Festival. And my son was in it, which is the main reason I went. And it was Juno and the Paycock. It's just a Sean O'Casey. He's a novelist, Irish novelist with plays. And I cannot tell you how good it was. It was fabulous. And I ended up knowing others, obviously, in the cast. They were just, I'm telling you, it was crazy. It was funny. It was well staged. But it's a tragic comedy. And here I am. I said, I never went to a play and cried. Never. Not even close that I could recall. And laughed, cried. And I don't know, you may remember, I had Brian McGurl on, who's director, scenic designer, and plays the captain, Jack Boyle, one of the leads. And he said, you might have a tear. I didn't believe it. And it's just, wow. Local theater is extremely important for a lot of reasons. But this play, I'm telling you, it's tonight at 7. I'm going at least one more time. It's tonight at 7, Saturday at 7, and Sunday at 2 o'clock at the Steamtown Mall. And you park right underneath, free parking. And you go upstairs and go in this nice little event space. They have all these lovely ladies selling, candy and Irish soda bread and water and soda, whatever you want. I mean, it was fabulous. It really was. Juno and the Paycock. If you don't get to this play, get to any one of the Scranton Shakespeare Festival plays, and support local theater. It really is important, and it's good. Really impressed. I'm beyond impressed. I was gobsmacked. And it ends a bit tragically. Not a bit. It ends tragically. And I'm saying hello to the cast members and my son and all that. And I had tears in my eyes right through till I got in the car. Amazing. Here's something unique. Bob, eight or so days of bombing Iran, and I haven't gotten a single spam call. Apparently, my car's warranty wasn't about to run out. So something good comes out of war. Somebody says Trump ran on a platform to end war. He said, I quote, if I get in office, the war in Ukraine will be over within 24 hours. He exaggerates all the time. And, excuse me, I do have a heck of a cold. Okay, so, all right. So who started the war and did nothing about it? Who caused the war? The people you support. They caused the war with incredible weakness and frailty. from an addled fool. He was a fool to start with, Biden, and he's an addled fool. And the horrible, weak-kneed nothings that he appointed to his cabinet, like the Secretary of State. The listener continues, we have no business being in the Middle East. Oh, yes, we do. That is business. That is our business. We're the United States of America. We don't have a choice on this. There's no Fortress America. It can't happen. Joe from Tricks Park sends in, between Venezuela and Iran, Trump has done more to stop Russia than the billions Biden sent did, not to mention China and the threat of Iran itself. One of the trolls, no new wars, lower gas prices, lower food prices. Well, by the way, gas prices are lower. Have you paid attention? Liar. Food prices are lower. And I people like you, people like the Biden administration, like Biden, Obama in particular, they would have waited until Iran was too strong to do anything about it. And then they would have used their nuclear weapon, which they would protect with their ballistic missiles and drones that they were producing faster than us. You've got your head up your butt. This had to be done. Thank God. Thank God we have a president decisive enough to do what needs to be done. And I mean it. Thank God. We'll be back. Roger Miller. This date, 1965, Murph says that he had the number one easy listening charts hit with King of the Road. I love that song. Bob Cordaro back with you here on WILK. And, of course, we're going to have David DeCosmo on today because it's the Alamo. And David's the guy who always knows the local connection to history. And so we'll talk to DeCosmo later this morning about that. Yeah, quickly, there's so many sort of distressing things. I pulled out an article from yesterday, like these headlines for this Lilliputian nobody, Bill Gaughan, the minority commissioner in Lackawanna County, the guy who jacked your taxes and screwed up the reassessment. And, oh, yeah, he was working hard to screw up the city of Scranton before that. Unbelievable. He's got another headline on the front page up in this rag. It's unbelievable. I mean, when you think the newspapers that we are stuck with couldn't get any worse, they go and top themselves. So you got this nothing piece of spit talking about trying to stop ICE. And, I mean, how many articles could you get? How many headlines could one idiot get out of it? But it's not a newspaper. It's a left-wing rag trying to push their agenda. It's so awful, you can't even make it up. We were looking for sports scores. So instead of giving headlines to everything this idiot says, and by the way, 9 times on the same subject, instead of that, why don't we do this? Why don't we find out what the Dunmore Riverside score is? Why don't you find out what the girls' basketball team did last night in the state playoffs? It's so bad. You can't even make it up. It's so bad. Wow. So, just a quick comment on the Kristi Noem kerfuffle. I've been receiving information and received a couple of calls. Essentially, what had been happening, Kristi Noem, she loves herself. And I knew it, and I felt this woman's a lightweight. Department of Homeland Security is one of the most complicated things to run, almost as much as the Pentagon. And she was worried about getting on camera. If everybody remembers, if you even glance through Fox News, she had 2 different massive ad campaigns when she was governor, featuring her. Inoffensive, but I always thought about the money. And now with the $210 million, I said, well, okay, you did an okay job. But the thing that people are telling from the inside, she was fighting with everyone, would not listen to career professionals, and everything was a photo op for her. How do I position myself? How do I center myself in this? I mean, if you're not willing to listen to Tom Homan on illegal aliens, who are you willing to listen to? And apparently the answer was no one. All right, we've got to take a break. So, look, she did okay. You have a war criminal that she replaced. Literal war criminal. He should be in jail. He probably, if they had a death penalty for the former head of DHS, I would favor the death penalty. I mean that. He's that much scum. Some of the same people were telling me there are still tens of thousands of children they cannot find. And of the 2,500 or so they reunited with their parents, These ain't the kind of people you'd want to have your child live with. No, it's bad stuff. And we stopped the bleeding there, but they needed to advance the ball. And Trump is decisive. He got the job done. He wasn't distracted by everything else he was doing. He said, okay, she's not getting it done. She's not the best that we could have there. And I always thought she was the lightweight among heavyweights in that cabinet. So I have no dislike for her. I have no problem with her. But, yeah, her ego was writing checks her body couldn't cash. And Trump saw it over time, and moved on. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's hear from our great sponsors. We'll come back with our Veterans Tribute, the weather, and then we got our man, David DeCosmo. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, just as it is every hour. This day as it is every day. Brought to you patriotically by our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga hospitality. It's the weekend, and I can't wait to get to one of these places. I'll probably hit at least two. 3 great bar restaurants I tell you about all the time. You've got to check them out. You will say, Bob doesn't exaggerate. He's not Trumpian. Far Street Tavern. The neighborhood tradition reimagined. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant, right on the main drag. You'll love them all, I promise. A Terra 519, an amazing happy hour every day. You check it out. One of the most beautiful restaurants you will ever be in. Stegmaier Mansion, ditto. An old world take on all of that. And fine dining at both places, the bars, amazing. Frank Chernauskas. He was 82. We lost him March 1st. Born in Pittston, 1961, graduate of Pittston High School. He proudly served his country in the United States Army during the Vietnam War. He continued his service later with the U.S. Army Reserves. For many years, he was employed as a diesel mechanic with LULAC Heating Oil Company. He later worked as a machine mechanic for the Maui Cup Corporation until he retired in 2011. He's survived by his beloved wife for 56 years, Anne-Marie Karbowski Chernauskas. His sons, Joseph of Pittston, Michael. His grandchildren, his daughter-in-law, along with many nieces and nephews. A quiet life led with dignity. Frank Chernauskas, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality Group. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain. Guys, the weather's would make you think, skiing's over. No, it's not. And the winter fun is not even close to over. It's Mountain Fest this weekend. The 6th and the 7th. Music, fireworks, of course, great skiing, great food, the whole package at Montage Mountain. Today, cloudy with drizzle. Could see some patchy ice in the higher elevations. High of 44. Tonight, partly cloudy, 37. Saturday, partly sunny with showers developing late in the day. High 53. Sunday, morning showers, then partly sunny in the afternoon. High 60. And I heard Joe tell on the morning show that the weather was going to be beautiful next week, at least by our standards. The current standards. Henry Mancini, March of the Cue Balls. And you know what that means? Because it's his theme song. It means David DeCosmo. David, welcome back.
Good morning, Bob. Good morning.
Well, you got the Alamo, and you are our historian.
Well, I happen to love this particular story because I went and celebrated with the folks in Mifflin County when they used to have a weekly or a yearly celebration. The Alamo, I mean, most everybody knows the story. I shouldn't assume that, though. I mentioned the Alamo to a gal in the pharmacy recently, and she kind of looked like I was talking about Martians or something. But 190 years ago, what is now the state of Texas was battling for its independence from Mexico. And about 189 volunteers were holed up in what was a church, the Alamo, in San Antonio, Texas, and they were besieged by over 2,000 Mexican soldiers. It's partially has a big place in history because of some of the names involved. Colonel William Barrett Travis was the commander there, Jim Bowie, associated with the Bowie knife, and, of course, Davy Crockett, that was famous in his own right, and then Disney doubled his fame a few years back. But what I like to remind people is that there were about 15 Pennsylvanians who fought and died at the Alamo, and among them there were 3 guys from Mifflin County, Pennsylvania. They were 2 of them were headed west anyway. They were John Purdy Reynolds, David Cummings, and William McDowell. And Reynolds and McDowell, for a while, they settled in Tennessee. As a matter of fact, they started a community there, which they called Mifflin after Mifflin County, Pennsylvania. And then they teamed up with a group of people headed for Texas, volunteers headed by Davy Crockett. So these 2 guys went to the Alamo with Crockett. Cummings was 27 years old. He was traveling separately. And here's another interesting note. He brought rifles to the Alamo Defenders. His dad was a member of the Pennsylvania State Legislature, and his dad secured weapons from an armory in Mifflin County that he took to the Alamo. So part of the weapons that were used to defend this fort were from the Keystone State. John Reynolds, by the way, was a doctor. He had a practice in Mifflin County. He was only 29 years old. McDowell was 42, and Cummings was 27, as I recall doing the research on that. And the whole thing was Sam Houston, who was headed the volunteers in Texas, was trying to get an army trained so he could fight Santa Anna, who was the president of Mexico, the dictator of Mexico. He's the one who besieged the Alamo. But Houston needed times to train these guys. So these folks holed up at the Alamo 13 days. These 189 men headed off this tremendous army of Mexican soldiers, very trained, seasoned Mexican soldiers, and also there were Mexican volunteers there as well. But on this day, 190 years ago, Santa Anna made 2 charges at the fort. The first one they were able to hold back. The second one they weren't. And every man was slaughtered. Santa Anna had said there was going to be no quarter. He killed them all, including, of course, these 3 from Mifflin County. By the way, there was, of the 15 that were there was also another one who had volunteered to go and get provisions. So he was away. He was the one that lucked out when this massacre took place.
We'll have to remember that for the future, David. I'll go get the food.
That's true. One of the other big names there, and when you see the movies in the Alamo, you read about it, Colonel William Barrett Travis was the commander, as I said, but his second in command was Captain Almoron Dickinson. He was also from Pennsylvania, but I haven't been able to track down what community he was from, although a lot were from the general area that surrounded Philly, because Philly was already a major community at that time. But Dickinson's wife, Susanna, and his infant daughter, Angelina, were there. They were holed up with the men. They didn't leave them, and they were spared by General Santa Anna. He wanted to, Santa Anna wanted to adopt the baby, but Mrs. Dickinson refused. But they were allowed to go, along with a man who has been identified on and off, and I cannot track it down for authenticity, as a slave who had belonged to Jim Bowie. So 3 did leave. All of those who were killed their bodies were piled on top of one another and burned right there. And those remains were buried at the site as one common grave. Of course, the Alamo is technically a historical site, very revered, obviously, in Texas. And this is the day that came to an end, and it spawned the cry, "Remember the Alamo," because Houston did train that army, and just a couple of weeks later, at a place called San Jacinto, Houston battled Santa Anna's forces and won, and Santa Anna fled, but he was captured. And most of the guys wanted to kill him, but Houston made a deal with him. You give us Texas, we give you your life. And so now we have Texas.
Well, great story. Big history. Remember
Oh, yes.
the Alamo. That's why David DeCosmo was on. Remember the Alamo.
Yeah. The dated date. Well, we remember it always, but this is the special day, if you will.
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
me back, Bob. And as always, I hope all your news is good.
Look forward to your next appearance, David. Always.
Thanks, buddy. Bye bye.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. The Temptations. Murph says this date, 1965. They had the number one R&B hit and the number one Billboard charts hit with My Girl. By the way, Murph's son plays, not only helps out with the putting the plays together, but he plays a good role in the Juno and the Paycock at the Marketplace of Steamtown, that little theater there. It was funny to see him. I saw him. I told Cutie, I said, that looks like Murph walking across the stage. He just has a mustache. That's the only difference. Hilarious. Our man Fred Duckman checking in. He just wants to remind us, and maybe me specifically, put the clocks ahead 1 hour this weekend. He says you don't want to be late for church or your broadcast Monday morning. Thank you, Duckman. Let's go to the phones real quick because we're near the end of the hour. Gary in Mill City. How are you, Gary?
Good, Bob. How are you today? Thanks for taking my call. I'm going to be real quick and touch on a couple things here. It'd be nice to turn on the radio in the morning and hear our media tell us, our young men and women, there were no casualties yesterday. Tens of thousands of young men and women defending our freedom, and they lead off with gas prices. Not that we don't have any injuries, any casualties. We lead off on gas prices. Personally, gas prices, there's no reason they rose so quickly because it's a future market that, in my opinion, benefits everybody except the American people. The second one, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on all these when we hang up. The second one is courts ruled, Democratic courts ruled yesterday that the administration, the taxpayer, has to pay back $130 billion in tariff fees. Now, it was my recollection that we were told that those tariff fees were taxes on the American people, that prices would raise and we were going to pay that increase. The taxes were on us. So where do companies that raise their prices to cover this, why would they get a penny from those tariffs? And talking about Nome couldn't get the gender thing right in high school sports in her state, high school and college sports.
I remember she vetoed a bill that shocked me. Yeah.
Yeah, she never should have been considered for her role. And the mess in Texas with the Senate race, this is how broken politics are. 89% of America want the SAFE Act passed. And Trump is going to make a deal with Thune and Cornyn to back Cornyn so they will pass the SAFE Act and start appointing judges. I mean, these people are disgusting. And I would never make that deal. Paxton is twice the man Cornyn is. Thank you for your time. Have a great weekend.
All right, my man. Thank you, Gary. All good points. All good points. Just to talk about the gas prices, I believe there's a little bit of gouging going on. But I will say this. It's important to note that the gas prices you pay at a gas station are for them to cover the next load of gas coming in, not the one that's in their tanks. It's important to note that. That's why they rise so quickly when something happens internationally. It's important to note that. So we've got to be fair on that as well. And you remember Biden looking for a bogeyman when he screwed up the entire all the energy markets with the Democrat New Deal or Green Deal. He was looking for somebody to blame too. They've got to replace the tank that they just put in your car with the next load, which is going up in prices because of the conflict. Trump will tamp this down. Once the United States says, hey, we'll insure the tankers and we will guide the tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, this thing will settle down. We've just got to be able to deploy, and it's going to take days to do this. We've got to be able to deploy the Navy from its war footing to an escort footing. It's a substantial change, but we've got the assets there to get it done. So this is short term. Hey, could I be wrong? Of course. But I believe this is short term and that they'll get a handle on it. We'll see. Well, my Picardo Jewelers watch, and remember their big, big one-day wedding band sale tomorrow. One day, once a year, 10 to 5, at Picardo's, Spruce Street and Jefferson Avenue, downtown Scranton, catty corner from the Radisson. You got to stop in. We'll take a break and be back. Great good morning, everyone. My Ricardo Jewelers watch tells me it's 10:07 and change here in the great Northeast. This beautiful Friday, March 6, 2026. It's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of John Basiliga and the great Basiliga Hospitality Group, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like Frank Chernauskas of Pittston, Frank Duzak of Old Forge and Duryea, and Timothy Kravitz of Dixon City. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you a sanctuary of sanity in a world that a lot of people have just gone insane following the Democrats down a rabbit hole of lunacy. Hey, Mark the Shark from Hazleton, he says, in 1979, I was a freshman in college. Back then, our version of protesting on campus was a little different than what goes on today. One common way was hanging a poster on the dorm room wall, and I did so. Mickey Mouse giving the finger with the words, "Hey, Iran," printed across the top. Nothing fancy, just 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that had been photocopied, but definitely got the message across. And, listen, this administration, this regime in Iran was pure, concentrated evil. Their intent was destruction of anyone and anything that was in their way, and that's all of us. That's all of you, to taking over the world and bringing back the 12th Imam. They wanted to bring the end of the world about. That was their stated goal. They wanted a nuclear weapon to use it. They wanted to make their nuclear weapons development invulnerable. And Trump was given the information, hey, at this rate, we don't know. There'll be a point where we cannot surgically end their nuclear development, and where they will be able to terrorize and destroy the entire Middle East, which was their goal. Anybody that doesn't know that doesn't want to know that. Somebody texting in, here's someone talking about that type of person. Trump said electing Biden or Kamala would get us into war with Iran. I don't remember that, but I'll assume it to be true for the moment. They continue, which you would have been against. First of all, with Biden or Kamala in the office, I said it before, I wouldn't attack Haiti with them in office. Do you realize the destruction they were doing to the military with their left-wing lunacy, their DEI insanity? And if Joe Biden's making the decisions, Kamala Harris? No, I want to sit and pray that the world goes away. With Trump and his team in charge, we've got to do what we have to do. And remember, your idiots, gave the money to Iran. Hundreds of billions of dollars, $16 billion also on top of that. Hundreds of billions of dollars in oil revenue that they shouldn't have had, even as they were attacking us. And there was no response from the United States. And gave them the money to undermine the Middle East and all of our interests there. So, yeah, you could say something stupid out of context and be stupid, but not here. It ain't going to fly. You can make it all up and have your pithy little statement. This was an imminent threat that would have been harder. And somebody texts in on that vein. That's the president I voted for. One that'll stand up for what's right no matter what the idiots on the left say. Yep. Another texter says, did you hear Condoleezza Rice supports Trump on this Iran issue? I saw the interview. And said he should finish the job. Being in the position she held, she knows exactly what's going on in Iran. I value her opinion over brainless protesters, says Ginny C. You're right on. By the way, on another subject, and I'm happy somebody mentioned this, because I saw it too. The listener says, good morning and greetings, Bob, ALTS. I don't want to change the subject, but did you see Lisa Davis, Austin's police chief's briefing? I think she's pretty impressive no matter what party affiliation compared to the New Orleans DEI chief who didn't even know that she had street barriers. I saw it too. As soon as I saw a woman there, I got to be honest, I said, oh, another. Well, first of all, when she showed the video of the Austin police, and Austin's been under the influence of left-wing lunatics for decades now, I was beyond impressed with their aggressiveness, their professionalism, with their training. There's cops, baby. So proud to just watch them on the videos. And you know what else about this chief? I don't know her qualities. I don't know if she was a DEI hire. I don't know anything about that. But she gave the briefing. This is what impressed me as much as anything. First of all, she knows she has great cops, so she's got to take some credit for that. Or be given credit, I should say. Certainly by those of us who observed this heinous situation. She's got to be given some credit for doing the right thing or staying out of the way. Then when she gave that, I figured this is going to go on for an hour. She's going to want to talk about this and the mayor and and all the. No. She stuck to the facts. She showed the videos. She praised her police, and she stepped off the stage. I was incredibly impressed with her. Lisa Davis, the Austin police chief. And thank you for reminding us, because I would have forgotten about it. It was just, I view so many things when I get out of here that I might not have been able to catch up. But I saw that, and she was outstanding. Somebody texted in, when you said David DeCosmo was going to be talking about the Alamo, I thought you were going to say he was there covering the incident. I wish I saw this in time to say that to him. He would have got a kick out of it. ALTS back at you. Someone texts in, the Times is like Al Jazeera. Look at the picture on the front page today. That might as well be the Iran state newspaper. I know. It's disgraceful. It is so horrible. It is done with intent. And at least if it was a comprehensive news source and we just had to put up with their slant, that wouldn't be great. But at least we'd get the news and say, okay, discount this, that. They don't even give you the news. They cut and paste. And then they pursue their agenda above all else. Incredible. It's just horrible. And that's your Times leader, Citizen's Voice, Hazleton Standard speaker. Just awful. Somebody takes in, Bob, a group of 20 ministers, men and women, laid their hands on President Trump and prayed over him and asked the Lord to bless him and the United States. That's good. Trump believes in prayer. He's come around. Someone, and I don't have the beginning of it because it got garbled, but the conclusion is the difference between us and the Democrats, tear down that stolen valor banner now. That's the Biden one that the Greenridge Neighborhood Association put up. Bob LTS, retired guy here. One thing the Democrats are happy about us taking out the Ayatollah is he now qualifies to vote in the midterms as a Democrat. Pittston, Sunoco, Scranton was $2.99 yesterday. I know that one. I don't think you're going to see gas under $3. The last tank I got was $2.99. I don't think you're going to see it for a month or so. And that's if we're fortunate. But thank you for passing that on. They've always got good prices on that Sunoco. LTS back at you. Bob, gas price at Wawa and Sheetz and Wilkes-Barre is $3.59, while other independents are 30 to 45 cents less nearby. Yeah, that's a little surprising, isn't it? Again, they've got to anticipate, well, what are we going to pay for the next load? Somebody wants to know where to get tickets for that for the show at the Marketplace of Steamtown, Juneau and the Paycock. Well, if you're an online person, where the heck did I go with it? Scranton Shakes, SHAKES.com. Scranton Shakes, SHAKES.com. I'm telling you, an evening of entertainment. I've been to Broadway 100 times. I would go to this again, not only for the convenience, not only because it's only $20. I'd go. I'm gonna go again. It was just great. Juneau and the Paycock. Bob, got to be a little bit patient. They want what Trump's going to do tomorrow done yesterday. I see all good coming down the road. The war is going to end soon. Gas prices are going to come way down. Stock market is going to sear the Democrats. Don't want to see that, but that's what's going to happen. I believe that's where we're headed. And we did something that had to be done when it had to be done. He knows politics is important, but he knows the country is more important than anything. Hi, Bob LTS. Wondering if we'll be reimbursed through oil revenues when this is over. Rich in West Pittston. Rich, he's not going to leave empty-handed. That I promise you. Somebody else, Trump has to go in there and finish the job 100%, or it'll be like Vietnam and keep looking over our shoulders. These people are intent on destroying us. What else do you want to know? And if they get anywhere close to achieving those means, we're in deep trouble. Bob, the Democrats don't want Trump to fail in Iran because they don't know how to be successful. They only know failure. Example, Jimmy Carter with the hostages. Obama giving Iran cash. Biden in Afghanistan. And Biden's famous word, don't. You nailed it, Chaz from Greenfield. You nailed it. And I don't understand it. What's this association with a political party? Why is it more important than anything else that you have to base your opinions on lies and spreading lies? I don't get it. I really don't get it. If the Republicans are wrong, and I don't consider myself a Republican, I consider myself a conservative. I consider myself a common sense conservative. If they do something wrong, which Trump has, I criticize them. Period. I'm not getting it. I really don't get this, hey, that's my team bullspit. I really don't get it. You know what my team is? The United States of America and the American people. That's it. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back. Bob Cordaro, WILK. The Rolling Stones. Murph says this date, 1966. They started recording their hit Paint It Black at RCA Studios, Hollywood, California. Bob Cordaro back with you on the eponymous program. So I got an email this morning from Robert Johnson, and he said, I think it's Master Sergeant retired, Robert Johnson. And he wanted to tell me about an event that's taking place. It's a reunion scheduled for April 11th. And some of the members of this Ashley unit were part of Desert Storm. And he's wanted to talk. I said, call in and tell me about it, because it works better than me just saying it or reading it. And here he is. Robert, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Great to have you call in about this. Tell us the details.
Well, the details are the 402nd MP was activated in 1991 to go to Desert Storm. Since then, we've had reunions, but over the time, we lost contact with some of the people, or contact phone numbers, emails, anything. So we're trying to spread the word via phone chain, but again, if you don't have the phone number, or if they attended a reunion and didn't give us the information, we don't have it. So we've put ads in the papers, the local papers, and I just thought your program that supports veterans and Mr. Basiliga supporting the veterans, that you might be able to, put the word out so I could spread to a larger reunion. Last time we had it was 2 years ago, and there were 82 people there.
Oh, amazing.
So it was great.
Oh, amazing. Robert Johnson, tell me, isn't it amazing how long ago that was?
Well, that's the thing. I was talking to a couple of the people that are on the committee for it. The people that started this were then Captain Kevin Havens and Sergeant First Class Paul Shermosky. They started it, and they've started to get older, and they said, listen, we need some younger guys, which I was a younger guy back then. I'm younger than them now, to try to continue this. It's not only for the 402nd MP. It's anybody who was related to the U.S. Army Reserve Center in Ashley, PA, because it housed a whole number of units, including 300 Field Hospital, who was also activated. And in addition to, like in 2003, we got activated again. I was still in, and a small group of us from 91 were still active in the reserves at the time. So it's one of those things where you come together, you talk about old times, and it's like yesterday that you're seeing these people.
Yeah.
They look a heck of a lot older, but
we can't help that. It's amazing, Master Sergeant Johnson. It's quite amazing how many times our reserves are called upon to step up and get things done, and they did. And they did. And here you mentioned, then you were activated again in 2003. Had to be amazing experiences.
Well, the thing is it's a very scary thing. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of apprehension. During that time, you make friends, and you're going into this, and you know that maybe you're not going to come back.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very chilling thing. However, we were lucky in 91. We all came back, and again in 2003, we all came back. And some of the notable people that were in our reserve unit in 1991 is Stacy Garrity. She was in one of our.
I love her.
And she was an excellent officer. And again, she got activated after 2003 again. So it's just you make bonds with people there that you could never make here. Yeah, and it's a time to get together. It's an undertaking I call everybody personally on the phone that I have numbers for, and we're just trying to get the word out so more people can come and enjoy it.
And this is a reunion scheduled for April 11th, and it's all those that were activated in Desert Storm, but everybody in the 402nd.
Yes,
Robert,
they've since changed the name. The 320th MP was what we went to under Iraqi freedom. and then they've recently changed it again. So, but it's any unit that was in the Army Reserve unit, because a lot of people, to obtain rank through that system, you had to change to different units. You had to accept the promotion where it was, and you'd have to sometimes travel to possibly Allentown with the 744th. They were also activated in Desert Storm, and as part of the 402nd, it was a different enclosure then. But then that transformed into the 744th, and they were activated for Operation Iraqi Freedom. They weren't located with us, but they were in the same theater.
Well, I want you to do this. You promised me this, retired Master Sergeant Robert Johnson. You will call again whenever you want and remind us of this reunion. Would you please do that?
I appreciate the exposure. Hopefully this will generate some calls. If you could post your on your page the flyer that I sent to you, because that has my
I don't know how to do any of that. That's why you're going to have to call in more than once. I don't think I know how to do that. I guess I could ask somebody.
Well, I don't want to put my phone number out.
Yeah, I agree.
And we do have a P.O. box for if you're going to pay ahead of time. It's a $25 fee. It also supports the VFW Post 4909 in DuPont, PA. There's a great meal that goes with it. And I've never heard a bad word about the event.
That DuPont
everybody
Post
that
is
comes,
great. Yep.
Everybody that comes enjoys themselves. They get to connect with old friends that they haven't seen in years. But it's like you never stop seeing them, because the conversations just start back up again. And, you learn about their families and how they've grown. My youngest son was born in 2003 when I was over there. So
how about that?
It's a difference. Most people in the civilian world don't understand. They think, oh, it's the reserves. You go one weekend a month and then 2 weeks in the summer and you party. And it's great. That's not it.
All right. Well, send me the attachment. I didn't get it in your last email, and I will I'll ask somebody to post it on my Facebook page or something. Okay.
That would be great. I would appreciate the exposure, and thank you for taking my call.
Not a problem. Retired Master Sergeant Robert Johnson, and the April 11th reunion for the Ashley gang. We love it. Thank you very much. And again, call whenever you want. Once a week, fine. All right?
All righty.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, the eponymous program. We'll be back with our Veterans Tribute after this. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you patriotically, dutifully, and as a great American, John Basiliga. Featuring today just one of his companies, Basiliga Hospitality Group. 3 great bar restaurants that I'm telling you, you got to go to say, yeah, these are great. Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. Far Street Tavern, the reimagined neighborhood tradition in the Trips Park section of West Scranton. The Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant, lighting up that whole great city. A Terra 519, one of the most gorgeous restaurants you will ever go into. An amazing bar. I can't wait to be there this weekend. The Stegmaier Mansion, an old school look at the same amazing cuisine, great drinks, transports you to another age. The Stegmaier Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre. Frank Duzak. We lost him February 28th. He was from Old Forge in Duryea. Always living life on his own terms. He was 82. Preceded in death by his beloved wife, Regis Heron Duzak, who passed away at the age of 28 in 1976. Born in Duryea, Frank was a graduate of the former Duryea High School. He proudly served all of us in the U.S. Marine Corps with two tours of duty in the Vietnam War before returning home following his honorable discharge. After tragically losing his wife to illness, he held jobs as a railroad lineman and government material manufacturer. Frank would ultimately work in that fine calling called a mail carrier for the United States Post Office. He'll be remembered in countless ways. A member and familiar face at the American Legion, VFW, Polish Falcons, and the West Side Club. He was a faithful Roman Catholic, longtime member of Holy Rosary Church in Duryea. Above all else came his girls, including his daughter and 4 granddaughters. And he is survived by his loving daughter, Robin Baricki, and husband Donald of Duryea, his 4 adored granddaughters, Caitlin, Megan, Marissa, and Anna. Frank was the last of 8 Duzak siblings. Frank Duzak, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast, meteorologist Joe Snedeker. It is brought to you by Montage Mountain Resort. And I'm telling you, this is the place to be this weekend. Mountain Fest. There's music all over the place. You've got those beautiful tents with the fire pits. You've got the fireworks display. There'll be something happening every moment of every day this weekend. It's the place to be. Cloudy with drizzle today. Could see some patchy ice in the higher elevations. High 44, 39 outside the studio now. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 37. Saturday, partly sunny with showers developing late in the day, 53. Sunday, morning showers, then partly sunny in the afternoon, high 60. And I heard tell, Snedeker said it's going to get warm next week, which is good. Murph says March 6, 1970. The Beatles released their hit Let It Be. It may be one of their most consequential songs, that's for sure. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. And let's go to John from DuPont. John, how are you?
I'm pretty good, Bob. Excuse me. I just wanted to mention, most half of the country was all excited about the Supreme Court recently when they decided to put a big monkey wrench into Donald Trump's tariff thing. Oh, it was wonderful. We got the Republican justices to flip over. I don't know what pressure it was, but the result, none of these people really thought about it was, I believe the president collected like 180 million or so from the tariffs.
180 billion,
so now, yeah. And now, billion. They decided that, well, you can't have that. We can't have that. The people of America who supposedly paid higher prices for everything to accommodate from the tariffs, we were stuck paying higher prices. And, that was terrible. But, so the outcome with that decision is that 180 billion, well, that's to be given back to the importers. Where Trump was going to give everybody a rebate, like $1,000 or something. But no, thanks to our Supreme Court and the Democrats pushing for this, they got to cancel out his tariffs, which he reinstated it anyway in the next day or two.
Yeah,
so they got to do that and wipe out the 180 billion that he was going to give back to us so that they could say, we got you, Donald Trump, and we ended up losing that money. That money's going to be given back to all of these importers and that. It's beyond insane how nearsighted and stupid these people are. They didn't think of the consequences that all that extra money we supposedly paid, well, that's going back to the people who imported this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. We got them there. How could they be
It's
so
all
far?
for them because, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. John, but I will tell you this: they've got no basis for any of their arguments, like literally no basis.
No.
Everything that the Democrats believe in or say they believe in right now is wrong and bad for America.
Yes,
and
exactly.
They're following the Democrat leadership, elected leadership in particular, is following the money that's being given to them by anti-American multi-billionaires.
Yeah.
So the fools who are following them and are not getting anything out of it, I really don't get it.
No, they're stupid. They can't think for themselves. And another thing, very annoying to me now is, how about the Republicans in the Senate not doing the recess appointments?
I know it.
What's that about? I mean,
I'm not understanding. I don't understand what the hierarchy of the Senate leadership is doing. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Turning on the president. The first time in history, isn't it? And they claim the Democrats will probably do the same thing if they're in office. Well, no, they won't.
They're going to get rid of the filibuster as soon as they take control of the Senate, and we'll have a disaster on our hands.
Yeah.
Unreal.
So the outcome is we lost all that money.
Well, they're not going to get. It's not going to get paid back because it's not going to get paid back to Federal Express and the others that are suing. It's not going to get paid back to Governor Pritzker and these idiots who are suing. It's not going to. They're not going to win the money.
Good.
It's period.
Yeah. Well, the one trade judge or whatever, he already said they're supposed to get some back. I don't know. It's annoying.
Well, if they give this money back, I will start my own lawsuit for my tax money back. Tax money back for all the extra money on the illegal aliens by the Biden administration. We'll file our own lawsuit, John.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, thanks a lot, Bob.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, John. Hey, we got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. sin. Thank you for indulging me. One of my favorites, Tom Jones. This date, 1971, Murph says, moved from number 17 to number 6 with his hit, She's a Lady. And before that, Muhammad Ali doesn't want to be called Cassius anymore. I forgot about this. She said it several days ago. Our friend Mary in Mountaintop said, Shapiro said we don't have resources needed to support ICE facilities in the Commonwealth. Well, then we don't have the resources needed for all the data centers already planned for PA either. Good point, my dear. Good point. Happy I finally got to it for you. Mother Teresa. Did I do this already? If I didn't, I don't care. I'll do it twice. March 6th. She says, have a deep compassion for people. To be able to have a heart full of compassion, we need to pray. Prayer was so central to her life, which was a life of action on top of all that. So this is my go-to karaoke song, Tom Jones, She's a Lady. Love this song. I had to keep playing it. And by the way, I try not to cut the songs off until you get the full essence of them. Unlike, they're not just bumpers. They're part of the program. And their music history that Murph puts together every day. Hey, Bob, somebody texts in. Job numbers look pretty crappy, wouldn't you say? See you in November. Do you see the childishness of the Democrats? They're happy about bad job numbers. They're happy about a bad report because they might win. To do what? Do you see, one of the things that's so important that people don't want to hear, the fools don't want to hear. The Biden economy, it wasn't good, but it survived because of all the insane government spending and hiring. Trump has to transition the economy from government hiring and spending to the true economy. And believe me, there's a huge difference in your lives when the economy and the jobs picture is about private sector jobs and not government jobs. Huge. Not even a comparison. And that transition had to happen or we would collapse on ourselves. Very important for you to note that. He's taking on so much garbage that was piled on, Iran included, from the horrendous, disgusting Biden administration. What do you think they're trying to kick people out of this country to deport them for fun? No, because 20 million people came in here illegally, and we didn't know who they were. We didn't know what they wanted. It's unbelievable. And these people, this is all they care about. Oh, we're going to win. Yeah, and then ruin the country. Trump's going to fix it, hell or high water, as much as he can. And let us hope the people aren't dumb enough, like that particular listener, to talk about his political party as if it was a sports team. insane. It's literally insane. All right. My Picardo Jewelers watch say it's 11 o'clock. Well, you know what that means? It's time for the news. We're going to do that, and then we'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Great good morning, everyone. 11:06 on my Picardo Jewelers watch in this beautiful Friday, March 6th, 2026. Where did the week go? This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like Frank Duzak of Old Forge and Duryea, Frank Chernauskas of Pittston, and Timothy Kravitz of Dixon City. Veterans we lost, but celebrate today thanks to John. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order, this meeting of the Club for Common Sense after that brief news adjournment. Yeah, we're back. We're committed to common sense. And that's why we can provide a sanctuary of sanity for you amongst the insane people. The people who are rooting for the Democrats like they're a sports team, who vote against their own self-interest in insanity. It's a scary thing. Somebody texts in, the Delaware home compound where Joe Biden lives is surrounded by walls, security, and evergreen trees. Yet Biden let terrorists, murderers, drug dealers, sex traffickers in with his open border policies. Joe Biden, a true coward on display. Yet the stupidity of the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association, especially in wartime, take down that disgrace. Joe Biden merits no honors. Amen. Brian from Shavertown texts in, mega LTS, Bob. I like that. In 1979, I bought a Chevy pickup and put a cap on it. In the back window of the cap was a poster of Ayatollah Khomeini with the caption, Ayatollah Asahola. I remember those. Somebody else says they are not stupid. They are compromised and evil. Let me say, I look at Hakeem Jeffries. I look at Nancy Pelosi. I look at Joe Biden, even in his addlement. I look at Chuck Schumer, and I see the worst of humanity. And I could go through the whole list. It's funny, the one guy out of all that I like, Bernie Sanders, he's just a stupid, dumb old man. And for some reason, I like him. I get a kick out of him. Somebody says, my go-to karaoke songs, Tom Jones, She's a Lady. Love the song. That's right, I read that already. And somebody else says, Tom Jones makes me want to take my bra and throw it across the room. And I'm a guy. I'm with you on that one. I'm with you. All right, let's go to Jim from Hazleton. How are you, Jim?
Good, Bob. How you doing?
Great.
It's been a crazy week for me. I haven't had a chance to listen to you too much.
Well, come on. Let's get with it, brother.
Well, it's hard to listen when you're sleeping.
Well, my job is to make it not a crazy week. So stick with us.
What's your take on the Kristi Noem firing?
Well, I was talking about it earlier. I mean, I think it's much ado about very little. I thought she was over her head when she received the appointment. And I had a lot of insiders over time, but then now in reaction to the firing, that she was just beyond egotistical. She just had to be like, what's the next press opportunity? What's the next time I can put myself out there? What's the next time I can let myself shine? And I was thinking back to those commercials she ran when she was governor.
Right.
And I'm thinking, yeah, that works. Plus, and that was the final straw, but one of the things that we're building, she doesn't get along with any of the people who head the various departments under DHS. Like, she didn't get along with Tom Homan at all. They didn't talk. And so she wouldn't listen to professional advice. So she, look at, recovering from Mayorkas, the war criminal, she did a good job. But now we need somebody to take it to the next level.
An impeached war criminal, nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I'm kind of glad in the way that Trump did that, because that the Democrats were calling for. I like her, but I think the Democrats were calling for her head, and now that they did it, I don't know if they're cheering or not, but
no, they're
never
happy. They can't be happy. You know that they're phony idiots. That's all you can say. Reprehensible is the nicest word I can say for them. They'll never be satisfied. It doesn't matter. But the point I think is that she was over her head, in my view, running a small state to running DHS. It's night and day. And her personality was such, she was not completely suited for the job.
Yeah, but I think that's going to turn the ICE thing around in a better light. And I think that the Democrats should be careful what they wish for, because that the senator that he's picking to replace her, I think, is going to be not worse, but going to be a lot better. And I don't think they're going to be able to attack him like they were able to go after Kristi Noem for all the different things.
They already are. My man Mark Mayer sent me an article that says that it's pointing out that he praised the officer who shot the woman on January 6th. So they'll be sniping. They're not happy with anything except themselves in power and with their sick, twisted agenda. That's it. So they're unpleasable.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying by that is I don't think it's going to work less to their benefit.
I agree. I think he'll be
with
very.
The new senator. It's going to. I think they should be careful what they wish for, because at least Kristi Noem, they had different gotchas, but now they're not going to have that. They're going to try, because that's just what they do.
Yep.
They drink the Kool-Aid and try to poison other people with the Kool-Aid, but it's not going to work. And also, I was thinking of, you were saying about a theme song. I was kind of leaning towards "Welcome to the Jungle," maybe. Just trying to get your thoughts on that. Because we are in the jungle, baby.
It's your choice, brother. It's your choice. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Mike from Duryea. How are you, Mike?
Go, Bobo. How you doing?
Great.
Who's that guy from UK or Britain or England, whatever you call it? Is that Starmer?
Yeah. Starmer.
Yeah, he's got to get his facts straight. For 7 months.
He's a left-wing
I know,
fool.
but for 7 months straight, there was 2,754 people killed. 7 months by rockets. You know what that was? That was the V2 rockets in London. He's got to remember, and there is people still alive that remember the V2 bombs, the buzz bombs, where they set them off, and when they ran out of fuel, they landed on England. 2,700 of London people died. And there was total of 9,000 people killed by the bombs elsewhere. 9,000 of those V2 rockets killed people in England. And he doesn't remember that stuff. And he had the balls to say that he doesn't want to fight. And then on top of it, what was the thing I looked up here? There was 154 American planes were lost. 700 Air Force guys were killed trying to defend the launch bases in Germany. That we tried to defend England. I can almost cry when I hear those statistics.
Yep.
And he had balls enough to say, in 7 months, the V2 rockets killed 2,700 of London people alone.
Well,
that's
you
crazy.
got to remember,
9,000 total.
To be a left-winger or to subscribe to it or to follow and vote for people like that, you have to have no knowledge of history, no self-awareness, no relationship with facts, truth, or reality.
But you know what it is, too, is that history, people in government or whoever, people don't realize that history does repeat itself.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yep.
If Hitler had all these state-of-the-art missiles now, he would have sent off a lot. He killed, I couldn't believe the people when I looked it up.
Yep.
2,700 people in London alone. 9,000 total.
And I say Mike, here's the important, I guess the nub of it. Does anyone think, and if you, by the way, if you do, I have a message for you, but does anyone think that the Ayatollah Khomeini, the late Ayatollah Khomeini, thank God, would, if he could, or any of the Iranian clerical fanatics, think that they would wipe out as many Americans possible as soon as they could? If you don't, there's something wrong with you.
I mean, so far, God love those people that died. The 6 service guys, but it's only 6. It's bad they died, but it's only 6, and he's trying to do a war here. And then Trump just now said he wants to have an unconditional surrender. That means what we did in Japan. That means that's it. You're done.
It's the only thing
you're done. That's done. No more.
These people.
No more. That's it.
The only thing I remember watching 60 Minutes, and there was a wild lunatic Islamic imam, and Islamic cleric on 60 Minutes. They were interviewing him, and I looked at it and I said to myself, I'm watching him and I listened to him, and I said, this is sad. There's no choice and no other option but to kill him. That's it.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Mike, thank you. We got to take our break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back. Gary Wright, his first top 10 at number 6 with Dream Weaver, Murph says. This date, 1976. Biden banner disgrace, day 81. The Green Ridge Neighborhood Association, and we'll start naming names soon. And you could go to their website, you could go to their Facebook page and let them know what you think. They put up a banner for Joe Biden as a hometown hero, a banner intended only for veterans. He is not a veteran. He used multiple deferments to avoid joining the military. He was a disgrace as a president, but that's not the point. If you want a banner, Green Ridge Neighborhood Association, if you want to be associated with him and remember him fondly, then you're stupid, but it's your right. Do not, and you have no right, to debase our veterans and what they've done for this country. Biden banner disgrace, day 81. Somebody texted in, Biden lost 13 servicemen while retreating, and nothing was said by the Democrats. Nothing. Bob LTS, when you play these clips of Biden, part of me feels bad for him, but mainly I get enraged that the Dems would do what they did. Elderly abuse, says Slick. Somebody texted in, Bob, your Biden banner, disgrace banner update is like a shot of espresso coffee you give all your loyal veterans who listen to your show on a daily basis. The Green Ridge Neighborhood Association thinks you will eventually throw in the towel and let them off the hook. Not happening. Bob Cordaro Show dedicated to our beloved veterans. Amen. Oh, and then I'm going to start naming names because they've got officers. They've got people involved. I'll start telling you who to get in touch with. I've had enough. And if they've got no shame, we're going to give it to them. Now listen to my semi-buddy Jimmy Fela, and he says death of shame in this country. These people are shameless. How do you do that? And then what? Now you dig into a bunker and say, well, we're wrong, but we're not going to give in to that loudmouth. Is that the childishness of your position? It's quite sad. And again, I don't care if you're stupid enough to put up some remembrance of Joe Biden because he was a president and he lived in Green Ridge for a couple of years. But it ain't supposed to be a hometown hero banner meant for veterans. Period. Somebody says, are the officers of the Green Ridge Association the same people maybe for the Homeless Association that two that go unnamed? I don't know. Somebody else, start naming names. Do it. Somebody else love public shaming. Well, apparently shaming them as a group is not working. And if that doesn't work, we're going to take the next step. And I don't care. You've proven you're dumb by putting up any tribute to Joe Biden. Now that you know he sold the country out for $50 million or more into his family's bank accounts as vice president. Now you know how horrible a president he was. You know what a disgrace he was. It's demonstrable what a horrible person he is. And that old fool clung to power when he was no more capable of running the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association than he was running the country. Somebody says they could be the same people that are on the homeless committee too. Yeah, as homelessness explodes. I just can't believe we'd had that many losers in the city. Well, these people just reelected by 2-1, re-elected Cognetti. That'll tell you all you need to know. But see, this is different. There is no subjectivity to this topic. Joe Biden was not a veteran. He does not deserve, and it's 100%, 1,000% wrong to give him a banner, a hometown hero banner, period. And I don't care if you were a chauffeur or a chef during peacetime. You served this country. Joe Biden did not. He served himself for 50 years. It's incredible. But that's what they do. My Cordaro Jewelers watch tells me it's 11:30. That means we got to hear from our great sponsors. And then we'll do a veterans tribute. We'll do the weather. And then you at 570-883-0098 to call or to text. We'll be back. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day, as with every day, brought to you by our friend John Basiliga, friend of the veterans. A man who loves his country and loves this area. Today, we feature one of his companies, Basiliga Hospitality Group, because it's the weekend, guys, and these are among the best places to go. Like the Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township, the Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant, the Far Street Tavern, and the Trips Park section of West Scranton. I love them all, I promise you. You will too. Fine dining and amazing high-end bars, a Terra 519, downtown Scranton, the Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre. You will, I'm telling you, your jaw will drop. And mine does still. And I've been to each one dozens and dozens and dozens of times. Happy hour today at Aptera, 4 to 6, $10 drink, $6 beer. Handcrafted IPAs. And Sergei's the nightclub, the hot place to be. And for even fogies like me, we could sneak in and just enjoy the atmosphere. Basiliga Hospitality Group. Timothy Kravitz. He was only 38 when we lost him. He died December 27th of last year. He was from Dixon City. He was a man of profound discipline, a dedicated protector, and a deeply loving husband and father. A proud veteran of the United States Navy. Tim served with honor as an expeditionary warfare specialist. His commitment to duty continued into his civilian life, where he served his community as a corrections officer at SCI Waymart for 11 years. Tim was a powerhouse of energy and passion. He was an avid personal trainer and fitness enthusiast who believed in the transformative power of health. He displayed incredible resilience as he navigated a courageous battle with brain cancer alongside the heavy emotional weight he carried through that disease. He was a warrior who fought for his health and his family until the very end. One thing that Tim and Brandy shared throughout their entire life, that's his wife, Brandy, was a quote that resonated deep within them both. Our souls did not meet by accident. He's survived by his devoted wife, Brandy Rose Kravitz, and their daughter, Aubrey Paige Kravitz. Mother and father-in-law and other family members, taken far too young. Veteran Timothy Kravitz. Brought to you by John Basiliga, Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Well, I don't know. Every time I think weather, I think Montage. What is happening? What are these amazing people at Montage doing this weekend? Well, a lot, it turns out. The 6th and the 7th, it's Mountain Fest. There's going to be bands and music all over the place, indoors and out. There's going to be fire pits and tents that you could rent and have a blast outside. Slocum Hollow Lodge, it'll be happening there. The Wagyu beef hamburger is awesome, as is the rest of the food. It's a big weekend, and then the fireworks set against the backdrop of those snowy mountains is awesome. Mountain Fest this weekend. Today, cloudy with drizzle, Joe tells us. Could see some patchy ice in the higher elevations, high 44. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 37. Saturday, partly sunny with showers developing late in the day, 53. Sunday morning showers, then partly sunny in the afternoon, 60. And at least for a short term, Joe, I heard Joe tell that the weather would be gorgeous next week. It's going to be spring skiing at Montage all weekend and next week. That's your weather, brought to you by Montage Mountain Resorts. Nazareth. They moved into the top 10 at number 6 with Dreamweaver. Love Hurts. I'm sorry, Dreamweaver. I'm looking at the previous song. Number 9 with their hit Love Hurts. This date, 1976, Murph tells us. Just read the script Murph gives you and you'll be fine. It is. It's like, I'm like Ron Burgundy. I just read whatever you put in front of me. Cabinet guy says $6 beers better be a craft beer. Yes, it is. Yes, they have craft beers for $6. And you got me, cabinet guy, you got to go hang out there. I'm telling you. It's my favorite. The Friends of the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association, who are in the tank with Cognetti and Gone, the Stolen Valor banner, Biden, is retribution toward the Bob Cordaro Show and his club of common sense listeners. How shallow are the minds of these individuals? Let's expose them for their stupidity and let them know that it's their own personal character they're talking about. I have no idea why they put it up. I have no idea how you could be that naive and foolish. I really don't. But once you find out you're wrong, you've done something wrong, have the character to admit it and take it down. Once they found out they were wrong, 10 people still voted to keep it up, even though 5 people voted against it. It's ridiculous. Bugs are texting, hey, Bob, why don't we chip in and have a Hometown Zero banner with Mumbling Bubbling Joe in a clown outfit and hang it? Just saying. That's a good one, Bugs are. Hometown Zero. That's what he's less than zero. Hey, by the way, I got a text. My friend Mark Hoover, who you guys would know from Rock 107. He sent in an email. He said, thanks for honoring Frank Duzak today as one of your veterans. Frank proudly served as a member of Duryea American Legion and Duryea VFW, where he was known as a dedicated member and a great friend to many. I had the honor of being part of the American Legion Honor Guard last evening at Kearney Funeral Home, which is, by the way, a great funeral home, to pay tribute to Frank and his service. It was a privilege to stand with fellow veterans and recognize a man who meant so much to us. Frank was truly a great guy and a valued club member who would be remembered with respect, gratitude, and pride. Thank you, Hoove. I just love hearing back from people, especially veterans, about fellow veterans that we've lost. I give the Dickens quote, we shall never see their likes again. Hey, on the blower, we got Lackawanna County Commissioner Chris Chermak. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. How are you today, Bob?
I'm doing great. Now, listen. What is going on with this newspaper and then this Lilliputian gnat, Bill Gaughan, who released a confidential memo, that legal memorandum that you got asking about this idiotic motion of his to fight ICE in Lackawanna County?
Right. Well, it's once again, it's the continuation of the Bill Gaughan show, but it's, we received a memorandum from our solicitors, which has been a joint effort with the 3 solicitors, and we received that 8:30 that morning before the commissioner meeting, that it was confidential and that we were going to review it together. And we mentioned it at the commissioner meeting that, once it's a lengthy memorandum, but we want to look at it, read it, sit with the solicitors, all 3 commissioners, to discuss whatever we need to discuss and how we are going to move forward, or whatever we're going to do as a county board. And apparently that wasn't good enough, and so he released it to the media, which now puts the county in jeopardy for litigation, for different things. Like, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess.
And it proves to me he never wanted to keep ICE from being here. He just wanted the issue to prove that he was a left-wing lunatic in good standing.
Well, he's looking for support. Obviously, he's lost a tremendous amount of support with his massive tax increase and the reassessment that he's jammed down everyone's throat, and he's losing ground. And I think he's looking for anything he can get his hands on to, data centers, which is not a county issue, a commissioner's issue, ICE, which is not a county commissioner's issue. I'm surprised we're not discussing the bombing of Iran.
Yeah.
But again, it's not our issue. Unfortunately, it's an important issue, but we have no jurisdiction over any of that.
So the reporter Jeff Horvath covers the county, I guess, right?
Yeah.
How in God's name? Well, I know it's an editorial decision. How does Gaughan, over things that have nothing to do with the county and things that are beyond the by the way, that's the other thing. It's beyond the power of the county commissioners to do anything about cooperation with ICE by independent row officers like the district attorney and the sheriff. Now,
right.
How do they keep giving him headline after headline over the same nonsense he has no impact on?
Well, you know that better than anybody, but it's it's they want to sell newspapers, put Billy Gaughan's face on the front page every day. Well, it's working for everybody. They're selling papers, and Bill Gaughan's getting his picture in the paper every day over stuff that is just absolute ridiculous for us to even be with everything going on and the work that we have to do. And by the way, we do take care of the airport. We're part of that. The courts.
He caused a problem down there, and I mean he's just completely untrustworthy. He's a banging gong over any left-wing issue that deals with police, anything. He's insane. He's an insane person.
Well, he's got their playbook, and that's what he's going to use. And the sad thing is we have so much to do and so many important things. Not that this isn't important, but it's out of our hands, and it's I got to just think that it's all smoke and mirrors for him to deflect everybody from their tax bills and things that he really crushed them with. And this is the way to try to make himself feel better and look better. I don't know.
I think he's angling for a job to be one of the staff members for Paige Cognetti's congressional office. That's what I see.
Well, God, anything is possible. That would be the kiss of death if that happens. But whatever, we'll see. But that's what I see. It's unfortunate, and now it gets to the point where, can we let him in? Can we let him know about confidential information? I mean,
you
if
can't
that's
trust
what he's
this
going to do,
ass.
you can't.
You can't trust this jackass. He's disgraceful.
Nope.
Well, Chris Chermak, you and Tom Welby keep doing a good job, and you keep your focus on your job as Lackawanna County Commissioner, and we'll be fine.
Absolutely. That's my goal every day.
All right, my man. Chris Chermak, Lackawanna County Commissioner. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Three Doors Down. Murph tells us this date, 2005, they were moving up the charts with their hit, Let Me Go. Bob Cordaro with you. We're going to finish with one of my favorite songs, George Harrison, because on this date, 1971, he was moving up the charts with his hit, What Is Life? And I figured a great finishing song for all of us. Hey, my man Rick Bigelow texted in. He says, you were correct about the Navy escorting tankers in the Persian Gulf. During the height of the 1980-88 Iran-Iraq War, the Iranians attacked Kuwaiti tankers transporting oil, and the Reagan administration reflagged the U.S. tankers, the tankers to be U.S. tankers, and the U.S. Navy escorted them. The Navy's primary goal was to stop missile, air, and Iraqi Navy attackers. They also sent a U.S. ship as minesweepers. And the Stark, named after Admiral Harold R. Stark of Wilkes-Barre, hit a mine. 37 sailors died and 21 others are injured. Remember that about the Iranian scum running that country. So we're going to ensure that, again, Trump doesn't look at things like a political person. What do you mean they won't insure the tankers? We'll insure them and we'll escort them. How about that, Lloyd's of London? So it's going to get done. And it's going to get done right. Bob, it's time of war right now, and the Biden banner is a total disgrace to all the armed forces risking their lives for love of our country right now. Bob, the Biden banner is a personal hurt to everyone now serving and other veterans who served when Biden ran from military service. Why honor him? It is morally corrupt. Somebody, Sean from Lawrenceville wants more Tom Jones. Well, we're finishing with this. And I've got two duties because it's Friday. And don't forget about Picardo's this weekend. Even if you don't want a wedding band, check in today or tomorrow. I mean, you're going to love the place. I'm just telling you. I love Picardo's. I'll be hanging out. Nikki DeSando, my man, sent the policeman's prayer a while ago. We try to do it every Friday. And they're the thin blue lines separating us from chaos, from evil. Lord, bless the ones who wear the badge, the ones who walk the beat. Protect and keep them safe while they are on the street. As they wait and as they watch, doing good for all, guide their minds and give them strength for each and every call. Ready to put their lives on the line, give them courage each day. Let them know you're always there in each and every way. So bless the ones who wear the badge. Protect them from harm. Always keep them safe and in your loving arms. The policeman's prayer. And then, while you might have a little extra time, reach out to someone you like, someone you love, maybe someone you haven't been in touch with for a while, maybe someone you had a difference with. Tomorrow Never Comes by Norma Cornett Merrick, found in the obituary of the late, great Doreen Gorieb. If I knew it would be the last time I'd see you walk out the door, I'd give you a hug and kiss and call you back for just one more. If I knew it would be the last time, I would spare an extra minute or two to stop and say I love you instead of assuming you know I do. So just in case tomorrow never comes and today is all I get, I'd like to say how much I love you, and I hope we will never forget. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone young or old alike, and today may be the last chance you get to hold your loved one tight. So if you're waiting for tomorrow, why not do it today? For if tomorrow never comes, you'll surely regret the day that you didn't take that extra time for a smile, a hug, a call, or a kiss, and you were too busy to grant someone what turned out to be their final wish. So hold your loved ones close today and whisper in their ear that you love them very much, and you'll always hold them dear. Take time to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, or hello. And if tomorrow never comes, you'll have no regrets about today. Hey, thank you to Tina Morocco, our global sales advisor, Premier Sotheby's. You look her up at Sotheby's International, Naples, Florida, or under her own website, Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com. If you're thinking about real estate in Florida, if you're thinking about beautiful weather, get in touch with Tina. She will set you up. And, man, you need somebody you could trust. You really do. Well, guys, I'm done. Sue Henry's coming in. Rob O'Donnell show after that. And I pray for you to have a good weekend, a safe weekend, a fun weekend. And I know I will, because I'm going to see Juno and the Paycock at Marketplace at Steamtown. And I'm going to the Everhart Museum to see my cousin, astronaut Paul Richards, this weekend. It'll be a lot of fun. And I'll be going to the great Basiliga hospitality properties. I'll be doing all of that. I got to fit it all in. I can't wait. Guys, have a great weekend. But for now, God willing, I'll be with you Monday. We say adios and gavel to a close this week's version of the Club for Common Sense.